Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our series on rituals and ceremonies. Kind of looking at rituals and ceremonies and what they are and how they are relevant to our lives today. And it's been a really busy couple of weeks here, so I apologize that this video is a little bit later than I would have anticipated it and than I wanted it to be. Last week was spring break here, and I've been learning to play golf. Today I've had weddings and prepping for weddings, and then today I had updated photos being taken for my business. And as you can see, my chair is being taken over by Griffey, my cat. So I'm having to move to a different location. He's cozy and comfy. Anyway, I thought I can't keep putting this video off. Oh, and I have to share with you. So I've already recorded this video twice. The first time I recorded it on video, and I wrote it, and then I recorded it, and I watched it and listened to it. I thought, oh, that's terrible. It just is so boring to me. Why would I even want to share that? Why would anybody listen to it? And then the second time, I rewrote a bunch of stuff, and I just did a voice recording so I could listen to it as opposed to watching it on video and see if that was any better, and it wasn't. So delete, 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 and waited, and here we are. So episode 3, talking about rituals. So this is today. I really just wanted to get back into the swing of things and talk about rituals, what they are, how they're relevant in our daily life, and give some examples of daily rituals that most of us already have in our lives that we might not think of as rituals, but why they actually are. And then kind of give some ideas about why we use rituals and ceremonies and just some examples of those. So thank you very much for being here. If you don't know me, my name is Chanelle Carlin. I am your celebrant for life. I am the owner of Chanelle Carlin Weddings based in the Okanagan in Washington State of the U.S. And I, for the last number of years, have been officiating weddings with the most amazing, beautiful couples that anyone could ever ask for. And primarily in the outdoors, intimate weddings, elopements, some larger weddings. And what I've realized over time is that, one, I love the ceremony and the ritual aspect of ceremonies, but mostly what I love is just celebrating the moments that matter with couples, whether it's their wedding, a house blessing, a child blessing, a retirement, which does happen on occasion, a celebration of life. Whatever special moments are happening with people, I love helping them learn to celebrate that and make it a special moment and mark that moment with the ceremony. So that's really who I am, what I do in a nutshell. And here we're talking in these videos about a ritual. So people often don't know what a ritual is. So a ritual is really simple. It's just a set of activities, words, gestures. Sometimes you might use objects, candles, books, whatever, that are part of activities that are like a prescribed set in a set sequence. So, a ritual is something that you do according to a set sequence. Does that make sense? Activities, words, objects that are performed according to a set sequence. That's a ritual. We do have them in our daily lives, but it's not just about having them. It's like, what are they for? So we use rituals in our daily lives now to teach certain skills to children or to young people or to less experienced people. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. We use rituals to connect each other and ourselves to our humanity and to what it means to be human and to our ancestors. And then we use rituals as parts of ceremonies which help us do all of those things. That makes sense? So kind of when we're thinking about a ritual that we use to teach, we'll use it as a teaching tool, which we do in society right now every day. at least in our Western society, but I'm pretty sure most societies use rituals to teach. Um, think of when you first learned to brush your teeth. This is so simple, and it's such a silly little one, but it is a ritual that most of us perform every day. You probably don't remember when you first learned to brush your teeth. And it was your parents or older siblings or older relatives who taught you to brush your teeth by showing you how to brush your teeth. They showed you what the toothbrush was, and how to hold the toothbrush, and how to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, and then how to put it in your mouth and how to brush your teeth. And they showed you that by starting, you would watch them, and then they would do it for you, and then you would learn to do it. And those steps are performed according to a set sequence. You put your toothpaste on the toothbrush, and then you put the toothbrush on your teeth. You don't put your toothpaste on after you've brushed your teeth. Does that make sense? So that's one ritual that most of us do every day. And that ritual was used to teach you a skill that your parents or your grandparents, whoever taught you, felt was a necessary skill for you to have success in your life. Now, there are other rituals that are performed that do the same thing. Different cultures use ritual in different ways. People were taught to hunt in a ritualistic manner. They were taught to pray in a ritualistic manner. So there's lots of ways that we are taught things in a ritualistic manner, so we learn them appropriately. We learn the right steps to do in the right order. That makes them a ritual. When we talk about rituals according, kind of helping us connect to our humanity, and back to our ancestors. One of the things that I always found really interesting is that, like in the U.S., but not just here, but indigenous cultures used a lot of rituals to, as I said, to teach the hunt, to teach how to gather, to care for each other, to help young people transition from childhood into adulthood. There are many rituals that are performed and that are taught. And as we do those same rituals, even if they are kind of new modern versions, they're connecting us to our ancestors in a way that we don't have to connect with them any other way. And we use them now in ceremony in our lives now. We use rituals when, in a lot of faiths, they will have christening ceremonies when children are born, or naming ceremonies as children are brought into the family and brought into the community. We have, children going from childhood into adulthood. We have that through like graduations or vision quests or opportunities for children to prove that they can be adults, learning how to drive, driver's education, driver's tests. When we have a high school graduation, we have a ceremony, and there are certain things that are done during that ceremony that move the young people from being young people in school to being young people out of school. Weddings, retirements, funerals, memorial services. There are parts of those ceremonies which are designed to mark really important events that are ritualistic, and they have special meaning as part of those ceremonies. So I'd like to know, first of all, what kinds of rituals do you perform on a daily basis in your life? And there's probably more than just brushing your teeth, but I'd love to hear. And if you have had any rituals as part of ceremonies that you have taken part in. So I'll tell you about a ritual that I think is actually really beautiful. And it really just depends. And they can all look different. They can always look different. They can always sound different. No ritual has to be exactly the same. There was a time when they needed to be, but I think now it's more that we have them and that we use them in a way to honor the memories and the traditions that we had, as opposed to having something be done exactly the same way. So a lot of the time in a wedding, for instance, we will have the ritual of couple sharing their vows, and then they do a ring exchange. We don't think of a ring exchange as a ritual, but it kind of is. You say your vows, you share the reasons that you want to be together, and then you exchange rings, which is a whole bunch of meaning around the exchange of rings and exchange of gifts in a wedding. And then afterwards, after you're pronounced married, then you get to kiss and seal your marriage with a kiss. Another ritual that takes place oftentimes in a wedding it's called a unity ritual. Now, the purpose of a unity ritual when you're getting married, and you don't have to have them, but the purpose of it is to symbolize the joining of two people, the joining of two families, and the joining of two communities or cultures. So they are really beautiful and can be really, really meaningful. They can be as simple as the lighting of a candle or two in your ceremony, or sharing a letter. We had one ceremony I did last year where we had the quake, which was it was my first time. It's a Scottish tradition, or a Gaelic tradition. And we had whiskey poured into a sipping cup that has handles, where the couple would each hold one handle on each side and would sip from the cup. And then we passed it around, so that in this particular ceremony, each person, because it was during COVID time, each person had their own little cup and they got to drink from the quake as well. But in a traditional ceremony, those present to witness the drinking from the quake would also get to have a sip. And it's just sharing and bringing the community together. And there's language and poetry that comes along with that. Really beautiful. There's another tradition from the Jewish faith. It's the Shabbat, or the 7 blessings. And I was honored to be part of 2 ceremonies last year that wanted to have that ritual in their ceremony. And it looked different both times. And both was meaningful to the couple, and both was done exactly as they wanted it. And I use that example a lot because it was just so beautiful. And just really unique to have this ritual be done 2 different ways. So I don't want to keep going on. It's a longer video than I intended it to be, but I just wanted to check in, let you know I'm still thinking of you. I hadn't forgotten about our video, and I wanted to talk about rituals and ceremonies. And I think next week we'll talk about rituals and ceremonies in different types of ceremonies. I've used weddings as an example for the last few, and I know that this is something that comes up for folks. It's like, yeah, but what if I want to have a child blessing, or what if I want to do a celebration of life? Are there different ceremonies or rituals that we can use? And yes, there are, and we'll talk about those next week, and how you can make them just all about your wishes and your vision for that particular ceremony. So take good care. I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. And again, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please feel free. You can like it, subscribe to it. My name is Chanelle Carlin, Chanelle Carlin Weddings, and I am your celebrant for life, and I am honored to be part of this journey with you. Okay, take care.